Welcome back to Entrepreneurial Shades of Grey. I'm Danny Dowds with Miss Chelsea Sayasan. Chelsea, I am super excited about our conversation today. We have an amazing first family in the studio with us today. We're going to be talking about legacy. We're going to talk about leadership in business, leadership from a public service standpoint. We're going to be talking about how we're blending this with faith, with family, all the things. Just so much to get into today.
Yes, and so these two faces should not be abnormal to you because they're on Fox 10 all the time. We have our friend Lucy Greer, who's on Studio 10 every single Wednesday, and we also have Mayor-elect at the time that we're taping this, but now Mayor Spiro Cheriogotis with us as well. It's so good to see you guys.
Glad to be here.
Thank y'all for having us.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show. You just got back off vacation, so tell me this. Did you really take a vacation, or were you checking your emails the whole time? How does that work?
I was able to take vacation because my emails were not coming through. I actually read 2 books on our vacation, and we really did relax and do most to nothing.
We did as close to nothing as you possibly can. I do feel like I caught up on sleep a little bit.
I went to bed, I think, at 8:30.
I did carve out a few windows to make some phone calls, and my emails were coming through just fine. So I'm not sure.
It works international.
Yeah, it works.
My emails were coming through.
Greer said Lucy needs a break, but Spiro, you're always on the clock. So the day we're taping this, it's October 17th, so this will be airing a little bit later. So campaigning is now over. You're a few weeks away from officially being in the office. Spiro, for you guys, I want to take it back to the very beginning. You were a judge before this. Lucy, you've always been Lucy, who we love here on the show and Fox 10 and everywhere on the Gulf Coast. Take me back to the first conversation you were like, as a family, all right, let's try and do this. What was that like?
Yeah, for me, is to leave a job like I had as a judge. It was a wonderful job. I really felt like I was fulfilling my purpose in this world, but I started feeling called, to take on the role of mayor. And, you can reach so many more people as mayor. My goal is to improve lives, see lives, get on the right path. But I, of course, had to talk to my real boss. She will always be that. And I said, honey, I'm feeling called to this, and these are the reasons why. She's like, okay, sounds good.
That sounds like Lucy.
And I said, well, you realize I'm going to have to quit my job to do this. Like, I'm not going to have a paycheck. And she's like, I'm like, She's like, no, we'll figure it out. So she, that is as supportive as she always is. She's always there, wants me to chase my dreams, and I want her to chase hers. And, I'm lucky to be in that kind of relationship where, we want each other to fulfill, their dreams and their desires. And she was right there with me every step of the way to support me.
The last thing I want to do, or, ever wanted to do, is to hold him back. So, people said all the time, why didn't you just tell him no? Like, well, this is our city, and this is where we live, and this is where we're raising our family and, our friends, and doing business here. And there's been so much progress that's been made that, I certainly don't want to be, the reason that Mobile doesn't continue to thrive, and don't want to be the reason why, Spiro can't do what he's felt led to do. Mm-hmm. So. Well, okay was the right answer. Here we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and your family's legacy, Greer's is such a cornerstone in the community, and so I could only imagine that running a city has to, in some ways, be like running a business. And so you bring a lot of perspective to the table in regards to thinking in terms of running things. How are those conversations at home? Are you gleaning from her entrepreneurial mindset, or are you gleaning from his public service mindset? How is it under the household, under the Cheriogotis household?
So the city is really similar to the grocery business because it's all about people. Mm-hmm. We, in our line of work. We have a vision at Greer's to bring added joy, well-being, and value to people's lives. And that doesn't have anything to do with selling groceries. It's just how we like to interact with the people on our team, the people in our communities, our vendors, everybody that we do work with. And, the city is no different. It's just an organization of people, not only the people that are on the team, but the people that the city is serving.
That you're serving. Yeah, and, it is all about your people. Every organization is only as good as its people. I'm lucky, like Greer's is lucky to have so many wonderful people who really are putting the citizens first, thinking about the well-being of the city before their own sometimes. And I'm thankful that I'm walking into a good team. Lucy, they've got 1,000 employees, and now I'll have that same role. So, we're just trying to figure out most of the time who's going to wash the dishes and fold the clothes. But,
The twins, it's their time.
I'm trying to force them into labor. They're costing us plenty. Lucy doesn't like their folding technique, and she's not wrong.
Right. Just stuff
It's
it
not
in
good.
a drawer.
Yeah.
As long as it's clean, right? As long as it's clean.
Yeah.
So, again, we're taping this before you're officially in office. What do you expect? I know that you've been shadowing Mayor Stimson for a couple weeks now, but what do you expect, like, on day one when that office is now yours? I mean, is there paperwork on the desk? What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, I've been introduced to the stacks of folders and papers and the things that need signatures, and I'm familiarizing myself with the sequence of events that happens prior to that moment. And we've got, like I said, we have a lot of good people whose eyes, nothing's going to hit my desk for a signature without multiple sets of very informed eyes being on those documents. But, there'll be papers to sign. There'll be decisions to be made. We hope there'll be a lot of people at the city are doing great things. I'll be integrating some of my people. You got to have your people in there. So just making sure everybody fits in and has that team mindset. Team first. We are Team Mobile. We're all about growing this city and making it the best city it possibly can be, making sure people are keeping that as their focus and not what about me.
Stepping into something new, for anybody, any entrepreneur, any business owner, it can be a very exciting season, but then it could also come with some sleepless nights. Are there things about stepping into this new role that maybe make you feel overwhelmed or keep you up at night, and how do you navigate that?
Speaking for me, the answer is yes. There's always change can be scary, and there's going to be some anxiety about change, but I have to lean on my faith. In the end, I know I can only control so few things, and in the end, the good Lord above, the Creator, has His plans, and I want to be right in the center of those plans. And so you have to have trust and faith that there is a greater plan and that you're a part of it. But you can only do so much. I can only answer so many text messages in a day, and just do my best each and every day, and feel sure that I am doing my absolute best. You can't do any more than that.
Yeah. Lucy, I'm curious to know, do the kids, we love the kids on the show. They oftentimes pop up, and it's my favorite thing ever. Do the kids, understand how and if their life is going to change? I imagine security will be involved now with you guys as the first family. Do you think they understand, Dad is going to be the mayor of Mobile?
I think the boys do, and Elle. The boys are 10, Elle is 8, and Skittle is 5.
We found her.
We found her.
Thank God.
We found her. The kids, their childhood has been a little bit different already, just because we have been in the public eye, just with what I do. And then, with Spiro, him being judged, he was in the public eye too. So they are used to, being out there and just kind of having that commotion going on and people recognizing them and us. And I think that, one thing that was so just exciting to me about the campaign is how many children, not just our children, were involved and invested and curious and excited. I cannot tell y'all how many people told me that their kids had to go to bed the night of the election and then woke up before the results came out, and then woke up on Wednesday morning and said, "Did Spiro win?" And I think that, the getting children more involved, of course, in what is going on in their community within, the city government. I'm hoping that with us having our kids involved, it'll just encourage others to get their kids involved in what's going on in the community. Not necessarily, what's going on maybe in the government per se, but what's going on in your church, what's going on in your school. What can you do to really get your entire family engaged?
Yeah, of course, I'm trying to currently figure out if ethically I can use my security detail to take the kids to school. Because I do like taking them to school when I can, and Lucy likes that too. But I want the kids to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Too.
It's been a long time since we've had kids in the little kids in the first family as sons and daughters.
For sure. And I think, Lucy, you bring that as well because you've been in your family's business for all your life.
Yeah.
And what's that like? Because you have really done an amazing job of pushing things forward in this new digital era that we've been in. So I wanted to chat with you a little bit about how do you know what parts of tradition to hold on to and then when to embrace change in your business?
That's a good question. Yeah, we just celebrated our 109th birthday. I'm the 5th generation in our company. I have 3 other family members in the 5th generation as well that we all work together. And Greer's has had to change over the course of 5 generations. We try our absolute best to reinvest in the stores that we have and also look forward to, we have, we're one of the few retailers around that have electronic shelf labels. We had e-commerce, online shopping before, luckily we had it before COVID, and we're really able to, serve our customers when people couldn't get out of the house. We are really active on our social media. So we are always trying to look forward and just continue to grow with what the demand is. And the size of our company, we're lucky because we're able to just really, we try to adapt to whatever community we're serving. So I think that sometimes with bigger box stores, they have set ways that they have to do things for every one of their stores, but we're able to tailor to what each store needs, which is different. So we really do try to get to a point where we're serving our customers and serving our team, efficiently and as effectively as possible with whatever technologies are hitting us.
Mayor Cheriogotis, obviously Greer's is a small business that's now a big business here locally. Small business, I imagine, is near and dear to your heart. What's your hope for all these local small businesses who are, anxiously awaiting now you being in office?
Yeah, I too, Lucy and I both started working at the age of 9 in our family businesses, and I do think you glean so much just from being around. While I was just sweeping the floors and taking out the trash, I was hearing those conversations and things like that. So, I'm excited for our kids to experience that. So I grew up in a small business, and I want to make sure that our small businesses have what they need. So many, what might seem like a tiny issue on when your trash is getting picked up or, where the dumpster is located compared to your store. These things can matter a lot. They can mean dollars. They can mean an employee outside for longer than you need them. I want to make sure that our businesses know that they've got a direct line to me. If they're facing issues that they're not getting progress on, I'm here for them. I've looked at ways that we can maybe spark growth in our small businesses. I talk often about $0 business license fees for that first year of business. When you're opening a new business, every single red cent counts. And so maybe it's only saving you a couple $100, but that's a lot of money. If you're not getting a paycheck, you're starting a business, you're spending all this money to get open. We need to be business friendly, and that's not just for the big business, it's for the small.
We like to talk about gray areas on this podcast. As you are preparing to step into this new role, what are some of the things that you can share that you just didn't see coming? Like nobody could have told you.
Yeah, there are a lot you're used to. I'm excited about. I was a judge, and I was on TV. Y'all have a clip of me every once in a while. Most people didn't recognize me when I was out, and so now it's like people wanting to take a selfie with me and saying, "Hey, I love that. That's been great." On the inside, you're dealing with a lot of people and personalities, and as we're looking at shifting things around, I want to make sure that those personalities are going to work together, and nobody can prepare you for the number of personalities and traits that people have, but we're going to make that work, and we're going to build a great team that's going to push this city forward. There are a few other things, but I can't tell you about all of them.
Oh, hey, that's all right.
I might be getting a
secret.
closed briefing soon on some stuff.
session.
But
Yeah, short, no
The same
mics.
question for you though, Lucy. Just in growing your brand and your business, what are some things that you never would have known or nobody could have taught you except experience?
I think just being able to, how to connect with people. We talk a lot about, especially the generation that's coming behind us, not being able to, connect one-on-one with people because of these devices and just because of the way that they've been raised. And I think that, being able to have those connections with people is something that you kind of can take for granted. And I think one thing that people have really enjoyed about the campaign trail, Spiro and I especially, is meeting people. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, one of those gray areas is people often are like, oh, like, I don't want to, approach them, or I don't want to say hello, or I don't want to bother them. But we truly enjoy meeting and getting to know people. Mm-hmm. And so that is, can be kind of difficult, when you're not used to being in the public eye. But, people, we were at South Alabama, and people were taking pictures.
Lucy was surrounded by a group of ladies that wanted to talk about
Lucy.
Oh man,
They love Lucy.
Yes.
I'm with them.
It is very nice, and it is great to meet people, and just being able to show the kids, how to communicate, how to get to know, all the citizens.
I mean, I was doing that at the game. It's like, okay, we look people in the eye when we meet
So
them. We
it's
shake their hand. We say our name. We look at them while we're listening to them. And, these skills, I do think the digital age has hurt some of those one-on-one interpersonal skills that really do matter. People don't know you're listening to them if you're not looking at them.
Right.
And Mayor Stimson had to stop me the other day because I was looking out the window at the port. I said, I swear I'm listening. I just can't quit looking at this beautiful bay that we're sitting on.
Yeah. Going into this new role as First Lady of Mobile, has it hit you yet, truly? And how do you anticipate it might influence or impact your leadership role with Greer's? Do you think that you'll be able to continue to power forward the way that you've been doing, or will you have to allow others to delegate more things? What does that look like?
Good question. I don't think it probably has hit yet, really. And I'm not sure, when it will. I don't know if it'll be, when he's sworn in. Like you said, this was recorded earlier, so he hasn't been sworn in yet. But I think that the way that I'm going to have to approach it is the way that we encourage all of our people at Greer's to approach life in general, which is, God first, family second, and then Greer's third. So I think that, it'll be a working balance, but, I continue to work full-time at Greer's. The fourth generation is cutting back. They're part-time. Fifth generation, has the reins, and they're certainly my priority, and I'll be, continue to support Spiro and be there for all the critical events in the city. This is my city, and we signed up for this together. So it'll be just a continuing balancing act and, working together on how to make it all happen.
I think you should delegate more clothes duties to the kids.
I should definitely delegate more duties to the kids. That's probably true.
Sounds like we've got to teach them to fold first, the boys.
Definitely.
Honestly, it's such a kid thing too. And even sometimes when as long as it's clean, I'll just stuff something in a drawer sometimes, but I totally get it.
Nobody's looking.
I
You might go-
totally get it.
There's kind of like the roll-up method, just roll it.
Steam it before you wear it. Kids.
Yeah.
No wrinkles. Just make sure it's wrinkle-free. Mayor Cheriogotis, a year from now, October 17th, 2026, what do you hope to have accomplished by then? It seems like a long time, but it's probably not a long
it'll
time.
go by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I hope we'll be able to announce more jobs for more Mobilians. I hope we'll continue to make more progress on, I won't call it a housing crisis. We need more houses. We need more houses that working families can afford. I want to see, continued revitalization in our neighborhoods. Beautification is a thing to me. I want to get a crew. I want to be on the crew just to go weed eat and power wash some curbs around the city. I think it would make our city look cleaner and brighter. But I hope that McGregor will be back open.
Please.
The arena will be on the
Can you do
cusp.
that for us?
The arena and the airport will be right at the edge of being open if they haven't already. We've got some really big things coming. I want to make sure that while those big things are happening, we're doing the little things right. And so I do hope that means more street sweepers. I do hope that means, better cut grass at some of our intersections that's handled by AlDOT. They're a great group. I want to help them. We're going to talk about that. But, that Mobile is a beautiful, bright city where people love to live.
You have like a big project. I feel like with our past mayors, they've had a couple of passion projects, whether it's a big business or whatever. Obviously, you're not sworn in yet. Do you have something in mind, whether it's a business or a park or whatever that looks like?
For sure. A few of those things, but, the one thing that I have mentally tacked up on my board that won't leave me is it's our waterfront. Our waterfront downtown, Mobile is a city surrounded by water. It's hard to tell sometimes. And, I look at areas of our waterfront that I really want to activate for the yous and me's of the world, where we can go park, get a bite to eat on the water, have a drink, maybe go out and, hear a concert, obviously at the arena. I don't think there's any reason why I shouldn't be able to jump on the front of a charter boat and go fishing straight from downtown. We have to improve that access to the water. And I want that to, yes, be commercial and businesses and, condos and, potentially a hotel down there on the waterfront. I looked at that area where the jail sits. I think that jail needs to be moved. It's not going to be free. It's going to take a lot of negotiation to make sure we can do it and do it right. But man, if we open up that area for redevelopment, I think it's going to change the face of this city forever. So that's one that's on there. I might need more than one term to get that done. So, but it's something I'll be working towards as long as I'm mayor.
For your media team, just let them know that fishing with the mayor could be a good
Ooh,
weekly video.
I like that.
I don't have
Yeah,
to
you
fish
and
a lot.
Jason. You
See,
and Jason.
well, I got to bring people along that know what they're doing. I know how to cast and reel.
Jason,
There you go,
Jason can
Jason.
do it. We can make it happen for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. It's been really insightful talking to you guys. I want to ask you one last question, Mayor, about the stresses. Anytime you're stepping into something big, it comes with stress, it comes with criticism, it comes with everybody's not going to agree with all of the decisions that you make. How are you preparing mentally to handle the stress and the anxieties of that come along with this role?
You get a good taste of it being in a campaign. There are a lot of people that do and don't like what you're saying and doing, but I was raised by a father who taught me to have thick skin, and I'm thankful for that. People are going to disagree, and there are people that are going to disagree all the way up until you get that arena open and they see what it's doing, and they'll change their mind. And what I know is people do change their mind. I hope to change every mind out there that thinks, that maybe I shouldn't have been the mayor. I want to work for them just like I want to work for the people that did choose me. But in the end, you gotta lean on your faith. You've got to be serving a higher purpose other than yourself, or else those blows, those hits that come along in the comments, they hurt. They do. But if you don't have a family to lean on, a higher power to lean on, it's hard to stomach those things. Thankfully, I have great ones. So we'll be ready for them when they come.
Lucy, before we go, you guys as a family unit, I know you have been, especially in this campaigning season, probably the leader of the household for right now. What does that look like for you guys as a family unit moving forward? Again, we're not into it, so we don't really know yet, and you guys probably don't either, but what's the mindset in that?
I think really just, taking it day by day.
Right.
Certainly taking it week by week after that. And the great thing is, the city has so many wonderful things that go on all the time. I mean, when you are on the campaign trail, you really realize how many positive and fun and great things are going on in the city every day. And so for us, the things that we're attending and that are, that we need to be there and be supportive, there are so many things that the kids can be there too.
Yeah.
And they're fun. I was just talking about some today with the schedulers. So really just letting the kids be with us at work
Right.
when they can. And then also just, talking about another gray area, just making sure that there is that time that we are at home. It doesn't matter, what job you have outside of the home. You can't be everywhere or be everything to everybody at all times. But, our kids are, and each other are certainly a priority. So just making sure that, we're continuing to give the kids that love, focus, attention,
Right.
support that they need is certainly, critical.
Being very intentional with that time you do have together and intentionally carving out some time too.
Yeah.
You've got to carve that time out. Lucy mentioned the schedulers, Karen, Ethan, others help us keep ourselves on schedule, but you got to build time in that schedule where the only people you're going to be with are, R6.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it'll be already has been so rare, and hopefully when you're sworn in, you guys will have a little bit more family time. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case.
Work
But
on
as we mentioned, y'all are going to be the first family in a long time that's sitting down doing 5th grade math homework too. It's not just go home and you can turn it off. Y'all have to be mom and dad to littles.
Yeah.
And that's a wild thing, but what a blessing for you guys and your family too.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
There is too much homework though. Can we talk about that?
Hey, maybe you can just
Yes, maybe you can.
Too much.
come on. All right.
Anybody can. I know that
think I'd
homework
be-
is brutal.
Really? See,
I
I'm
know.
not in
Scotty's not
homework.
there yet.
Oh,
So maybe if you
I
could
know.
pull some
Yeah,
strings right now.
before Scotty gets to
Please.
school age.
We got 2
you
more
have a couple more
years.
years. Yeah.
I'll collect some studies.
All right, well, that'll be on the mental
Yeah.
agenda.
It's-
We'll
it's
check
on
back
there.
in. We'll check back in for sure. Y'all, thank y'all so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Best wishes
Yeah.
with everything.
Thank
Yes.
This episode of Entrepreneurial Shades of Grey is brought to you by Honest Air Plumbing and Electric.